For more now on the history-making events in the Middle East over the last 24 hours or so, we bring in National Security Institute founder and executive director Jamil Jaffer. Jamil, it is always so good to talk to you. Where do you believe we stand right now, some 24 hours or more after those U.S. strikes?
Well, Jonathan, obviously successful strikes by the United States against Natanz, Isfahan, and most importantly, Fordow. We'll see exactly how successful, but at least from what we can tell on what the president and the Secretary of Defense and now the chairman of the Joint Chiefs have reported, we hit the places we wanted to hit. We hit them with the weapons we wanted to. 14 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs, 12 at Fordow, 2 at Natanz, almost 30 Tomahawk land attack missiles at Isfahan. We did the thing we came to do. We'll see now how successful it was. So we've set the Iran's nuclear program back. Whether it's a permanent setback or not, more to come.
What do you think the conversation will revolve around when President Trump meets with his National Security Council 1 p.m. Monday?
I think the question will be, has Iran come to the table? Are they willing to have a conversation about bringing this conflict to an end? Or are we prepared for what they want to bring in response? Will they attack our forces in the region, the 30 to 40 to 50,000 troops in that zone that you've shown on that map? Will they hit the United States at home with a terrorist attack? Or is there some sort of other attack coming? And if there is, what's our response options going to look like?
How much risk, as we look at the bottom right of the screen there, U.S. military presence in the Middle East? There's some of those bases, for instance, are relatively small. We have relatively small numbers of troops in Syria, for instance, right now. How exposed are U.S. troops in the Middle East?
Well, look, we have large facilities in Bahrain. The 5th Fleet is headquartered there. Got a large facility at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the CAOC, the Combined Air Operations Center there as well. We've also got small forces, to your point, in Iraq that are very exposed, as well as in Syria. And then Kuwait has a large concentration of U.S. troops as well. So there are lots of U.S. troops in the region, not to mention Saudi Arabia and elsewhere. And so there are enough troops that if Iran decides to strike out, they could probably launch an attack and have at least target American troops. Whether they kill them or not is a different story. But they should be clear. President Trump has been very clear. If they attack American troops in the region, they should and will expect a response. And that's something they need to weigh in their calculation as they look at what to do next. They will feel the desire to strike out. The question is, what will they do and what will the U.S. response be?
And Jamil, you've studied so much conflict over so many decades. The bottom line here is that once you are in a conflict, nobody can predict where it goes, can they? The Iranians can't predict where this goes next. The U.S. can't fully predict where it goes next. Israel can't predict where it goes next.
No, that's exactly right. We don't know how this is going to play out. The one thing that is certain is that if Iran picks a fight with the United States and ends up in a full-scale war with the United States, that is not a war that they can win. They will lose that war inevitably. They know that going in. And so the question for them has to be, how can we respond in a way that won't trigger a larger conflict, a conflict that we would ultimately lose?
And what do you think the pressure on President Trump will be from Israel to take further action? Or do you think Israel thinks, for now at least, the U.S. has done enough?
Well, look, I think Israel's certainly thrilled with what the United States has done thus far. I think they will want the United States to stay involved, as involved as we can. But I think they also understand the United States government and President Trump in particular don't want a long-term war. They don't want a conflict in the region. So they're even talking now about the fact that if Tehran's ready to make peace, Israel's ready to complete this conflict as well. So there's a discussion going on. The question for Iran will be, having been hit for over a week now in a significant way, can they return to the table without extracting a price for those attacks? They haven't been that successful in Israel as yet. The question is, do they think they need the U.S. to pay a price as well? If they do, they might be teeing themselves up for a much larger conflict.
Jamil, it is always so great to talk to you. Thank you, sir, for your expertise.